What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. If you're coming in, drop your city and state in the chat. Um, Here's the best thing for you guys to understand. So, some of the big news you saw: lumber's down 80%, Home Depot's down, stock market wise, and reporting of earnings. It's a whole nother conversation. But New York City, going back to Charles Bronson, 1980s. Pew, pew, pew. I don't know if you saw those movies in the classics or you ever seen Clint Eastwood, where they're like cleaning up the town, Dirty Harry style. You're going to also see some opportunities to raise your financial IQ, right? So, where are we at in our economy, in our current times? Now, people are saying, well, lumber's down. Oh my God, it's freak out, right? But I encourage you not. Right now, we told you guys, I told you on this channel and several other people who have builder channels, oh, lumber's at all-time highs. It's going to come down. Oh my God, lumber's down. What should we do? Like, this is a cyclical thing that happens in business and in life. So when people think it's a crash, no, right now, builders are like, thank God lumber's cheaper. Let's get building. Now, the point of this whole video is, one, I have a massage I'm getting ready to go to. So let me finish this up pretty quickly for y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you. Is the ability to walk away from bad situations and the ability to walk to new opportunities. The number one thing you'll notice in America, people will always protest against, stop talking about money, stop bringing up money. Money's not a problem. The number one issue I see, honestly, in our community is a lack of money, right? And a lack of transparency to truly be honest and go, I'm in this situation because of A, B, C, right? And be able to honestly, openly pinpoint why you're in that position, right? So lumber's down. How does that affect you? People are like, I can't sell my house. These people are in the same house they bought for 150. They want to sell it for 400,000. Oh no, now I can only sell it for 350. You're still walking away with a bonus. And it's because we're teaching people old money tactics that your house is your ultimate best investment. If your house is your ultimate best investment, why do zombie houses exist? Because sometimes people get elderly, sometimes people get injured, sometimes people have lazy children, lazy grandchildren. No one's cutting the grass, no one's doing bare minimum maintenance, and they're not doing preventative maintenance because they're broke, right? So people are going to still wholesale houses. People are going to still walk away from homes. The show Zombie Houses on HGTV, one of my business friends is on there with her husband, because guess what? You will always, every day of the week, find zombie houses. Every day. You just have to find people who are committed to fixing them. Now, you have zombie regions like Detroit, Cleveland, and other places. Like, I had one of the students, he went to 2 different seminar events. He went to Cleveland. He was absolutely shocked at how many like shell-shocked looking houses there were. Then he went to St. Louis and was like, this is not that bad. It looks pretty good here. Most people living in the Midwest and some parts of the Midwest are used to a cheaper cost of living in older homes that have basements. Okay. And what's happened is when those people try to move south, oh my God, these houses are so expensive. None of this makes sense. Yada, yada, yada. These are brand new homes in higher paying areas. So if you leave New York, older parts of New York, older parts of Indiana, older parts of Pennsylvania, and you come down south and you complain about what you're being paid, you have to look at your level of skill, because trust me, the first people recruited out of Ohio, the Midwest, and Alaska were people who could fix planes, people who could fly planes, people who can fix any kind of constructive building, and people who have what? Skills, nursing, healthcare, doctors. Those people were heavily recruited and pulled from northern cities to the southeast. Yes, Alabama has a ton of parts of Birmingham, old zombie homes. There are parts of South Carolina that's like that as well, too. And so your ability to walk away from areas that don't serve you, or the ability to move south and thrive, depends on your skill level. And this is something no one wants to address, right? The whole reason we're, oh my God, lumber in the stock market. 80% of Americans are not even in the stock market. That's why when they say the stock market's its own thing over here, it's just doing its own thing, I understand exactly what they're saying. 80% of Americans, if I walk out here right now and ask them about the stock market, oh yeah, I got a Robinhood app. What do you do with it? What do you invest in? The other day, I got an email from my Auto Trader app where we're following politicians and Michael Burry and other people, and immediately picked up some banking stocks. Not going to name them. No, I don't want to do the whole disclaimer here. This is not financial advice. And I picked them up at 100 shares, and someone's like, "Man, you dropping 1,000 on that stock?" I said, "Listen, if Michael Burry's investing in it, and then this other politician's investing in it, something's getting ready to come down the pipeline for banking." There, and it may not be right this moment. It may be September. It may be October. It may be December. But 9 times out of 10, when I sit here and tell y'all have a sense of urgency, the sense of urgency is the way you're living now. The sense of urgency is the schools in New York City having illegal immigrants that are grown men and grown women at a elementary school where children are. When we already have the biggest issues with children being able to defend themselves from teachers, from staff, from whoever. So you're telling me the best course of action was to put adult immigrants that are legal to this country, we can't even track them, in a school with children in the gym? They're just in the gym sleeping. And I want you to understand, what neighborhood did they do that in? I'm just going to go there, New York. They didn't go to the Jewish neighborhoods. They didn't go to the upper wealthy white side of town. They didn't go to Chinatown with that mess. They came to poor, browner, blacker areas of New York and putting those immigrants in the gyms at your school that your child attends, because they're in a demographic that you cannot fight back. No, Ericka, they're going to protest. And a real protest is pulling your child out of that school, right? A real protest is pulling your child out of that school and not returning your children to the school until it's resolved. Now, here's what's the problem with that. Most of these parents do not have the time or the energy, and really the truth is the money, to register themselves as being homeschoolers, to get a home site visit, to get themselves in a correct order. So what basically happened is, you are not in a position to walk away. You are not in a position to have your child in safety. You are not in a position to have your child in the best schools. No matter what argument you're giving to me, your child's not in the best schools when they will put homeless, nameless, unidentifiable, really not traceable, illegal immigrants in your child's gymnasium to sleep and eat. Okay? You're in a bad neighborhood. You're in a bad financial situation, and that ain't gonna work. Because all it would have took, if you did that crap here in Texas, or you did it in Virginia, is a PAC would have got together. A political action committee would have got together. The parents would have threw in money, and they would have sued the state, sued the city, sued city council, sued various levels of people, and got the news rocking. That's how the whole CTRE and the transgender information, all that mess like that. That's why we're hearing such a pushback, because parents did what? Took money out their pocket and raised $3 million in less than 45 days to fight against these type of curriculum in schools. So when you sit here and argue with me like, Ericka, everything's not about money, it's the quality of life, and I get to spend time with my kids. If you can't defend your kids from random strangers being in the school with them, I don't know what to tell you, baby. I don't know what to tell you. So part of why you're seeing so many immigrants being flushed in New York, I believe New York lost more than 3 million people. I think New York lost more than that. I think it's the numbers aren't being able to be calculated properly, because New York, just like Houston, we have people moving in and out of there all the time. At one point in the history of Texas here, the past 5 years, you had 200 people a day moving to Austin. You had 435 moving to Dallas a day. You had 500 people a day moving to Houston and the 11 surrounding counties. Then the hurricane happened, and they couldn't keep track of people. So when New York is kind of guessing and telling us, oh, this many people left New York. Well, these are the people who officially changed driver's license, officially changed their identifications, officially told their accountants, their lawyers, their whoever, hey, we're leaving. Everybody else, they're guessing, right? Everybody else, they're just guessing the numbers. So when New York is telling you we have 1 million people scheduled to leave, I'm a times it times 3. I'm a time it times 3. Listen, when you have a channel, there's multiple channels right now on YouTube where kids are going in and out of, oh Lord, it's falling on down. I think it's gonna overheat. You have multiple, let's see if this will hold, y'all. This might not work. You might be burning the phone up. When you have multiple people, let me see if it'll do it. Shit. Let's see. Okay. Okay. I think we're gonna make it. Make it, man. It's too hot in Texas. I should have went to the studio. When you have multiple people going and leaving a state to the point that you can't even keep count, a state like New York, let's just go there. It's liberal. Same thing with California. The government may say, hey, we got some money if you take some of these people. And these people are probably just going to get absorbed into your state, and they're going to work hard, and they're immigrants. They're just going to come here and work. Well, the latest batch of people they've been sending to New York, they've been in hotels for a year and now are refusing to leave. No, we need a housing. We need a welfare cards. We need all this other stuff. These new immigrants coming did not come to work. They came because they've been watching America on TV, watching movies, and assumed, yeah, we can just come here and we're going to be able to just literally work and live for free, basically. America's a big freedom pot. You don't even have to work hard. Now, that's not all the immigrants. There's going to be a lot of immigrants who, they're crossing jungles. They're crossing railroad tracks. They're riding on buses to get here. They're going to work their butt off, and they're going to actually outdo a lot of us in a 5-year window. They're going to come here, work multiple jobs, get credit, buy a house, and keep it pushing, right? They're going to be owning businesses before you even know it, right? But that is, do those people contribute to that city? And you were going to say, Ericka, they shouldn't replace America first. Donald Trump said America first. Nobody liked it. Oh, he's so ridiculous. And now you're sitting here picketing outside of your child's school that you've probably treated like a daycare, that they're putting people, grown men, in your child's school in an 8-hour window where you can't see your kid. That's dangerous. That's very dangerous. So my biggest impression to you guys is, why do I teach what I teach here on YouTube? Why do I bring on these different guests? Is because the elephant in the room is money, right? And we have different, issues regarding how we feel about money and how our parents talk to us about money. Those things are true. But at the end of the day, the biggest elephant in the room is, if you were in a position to move, to walk away, to get a different job, you would not be in these conditions. You would not settle for some of the behavior you're seeing or encountering, right? Let me see if I get this back up just for a little bit. Let's see if I put this little cover over it. Hold on. We're gonna make it work. And so when I sit here and say you treat schools like a daycare, a lot of teachers don't want to come back because parents don't care. They're not invested. But I don't think it's because the parents don't care. I think it's because they're so absolutely stressed out about money and bills that they can't even put themselves in a mindset to care about what's going on with their kids at the school. Kids at the school, as long as they're being fed and not being beat up, you're like, all right, whatever, keep pushing. It is what it is, right? You don't have the ability to walk away. You don't have the ability to move somewhere else. So you see, I'm talking about zombie houses, and zombie debt goes in that too, that category. But the biggest thing about this whole lumber thing, it cracks me up because it gives people this out. Well, see, that's why I didn't want to buy a house, because, these house prices are going to fall. See, that's why I didn't move, because, you got to get super invested when you move. That's anything. Whenever you move new jobs, you move new cities, it's going to take you 2 years of getting invested in the city, getting invested in opportunities, going to events, going to community events. I had a conversation with somebody and they were like, well, why would you do all that? Everybody ain't doing all that. And when they move to that city and then they're stuck like Chuck and they have no money and they have no opportunities, they have no new job references, is because they came to a city and think, I just want a cheap rent apartment and sit in my apartment all day and be online. That's what I want to do. No. When you move to a new city, you're going to have to get invested in that city. You're going to find out the local sports team. And again, it helps a lot of times when people are married and have kids. And this is an argument people are not going to like, but it helps when you're married and have kids, because then you're both new into an environment. You have someone to go out with, someone to take the kids out with, all that stuff. But in order to penetrate a new city with new opportunities, you're going to need money. This is why we keep talking about credit, and this is why credit keeps being a conversation piece. And this is why I keep telling people, you're going to need, when we talk about, people are like, hey, I want $100K or $150K in funding. There's something about the $100,000 to $150,000 number that is life-changing for most people, right? Life-changing, the fact that it will help them either create a business, hire somebody to help them expand their current business, or just give them some stability to pay their bills. It just is what it is. Right. It's a partnership. Certain groups cannot marry, start enterprise, and maintain a professional profession, politics, or parent because their inability to pair or partner with others. Kyla, I will agree with you. This is part of my anger with this is if I'm a mom and my husband's working and I'm working, but I realize there's illegal immigrants in the school, my job is not as important as my husband's, and I'm going to that school and I'm getting them kids out, and they're my main focus because this is your future legacy, and whatever happens to those kids, they're still your kids, right? This is a problem, right? It's a problem, man. Super big problem. And the reason I push so hard for the Tech Tuesdays and I push so hard for you guys to hear this information, even if it's rough in the context, is raising your financial IQ allows you to be in a different space. It gives you options to walk away. If I can read one book a month or one book every 3 months on financial well-being, things that I can implement in my life, your life will change. And everybody isn't ready to hear that, but I always try to put in the best basic terms. Do you have the ability to walk away? Ericka, what does that mean? What does that mean? I hear stories all the time. People, I live with my grandma. I live with my aunts. I live with my cousins. I don't want to be here. I don't want to live here. I wish I was somewhere else. Well, do you have the ability to walk away? Yeah, I got it. Well, then leave. Right? This is the true stake of what's happening. People are in bad situations, bad cities, bad environments because of it. There's several studies that show when you have boys that come from a single parent mom home, if they're in a neighborhood where it's 70% married parents and 30% like singles and others is what they categorize in the review, the boy came out all right. Didn't really have problems with the law, didn't have problems with school, kept it moving. When the neighborhood tipped past that, 60-40, 50-50, 40-60, anything in the reverse, the kids had massive problems. Why? Because the overwhelming, in order for kids to have a regular life, just try to be nice, they got to see normal, regular, everyday people. The best interview, if y'all ever get the chance to see it, is Felicia Rashad from the Cosbys. She talks about when she grew up in parts of Harlem or wherever they were at. They could see a doctor, they could see a lawyer, they could see a dancer, they could see a musician, they can see a lady on the street selling her body, they could see a wide range of things. They had access to see different types of life. So it balanced out. Well, we've gone to a society where we don't live over there with those people. Doctors don't live over here with us. Nurses try not to live over here. Like, people are in very segregated communities. And so when people try to argue me down about money doesn't matter, I go, no, your healthcare. I just showed you the article, middle class children with autism suffer greatly because their parents really aren't middle class. They're working class and they think they're middle class. The truth of the fact remains, if you guys just hunker down for 1 to 2 years on just the credit and watching one educational video a night, when I talk to you 2 years from now, you're a different person. Just because of motion and traction and taking action, you're a different person, right? Reading, making your kids read, you're different people. Nobody survives on an island by themselves, right? So when I'm talking to people and they're like, I want to change, I want a different job, I want a different life. Okay, in order to get that, that means you got to do different things. That means you have to go different places and be around different type of people, right? If you can't hear that, you can't do that, it's about to be rough, right? Many people are dreaming of this level up life. And then this one woman was doing a video talking about leveling up. She had the most ridiculous eyelashes and the most longest nails. And I said, ma'am, when I go to the golf course, when I'm going to banquets, when I'm going to charity events, I don't see none of that shit. So I don't know who you leveling up for, but it must be a rapper. It must be, because if you pay attention really to the trends out here, the more natural and neutral clothing you notice on a person, the wealthier they are. There's a whole guy has a YouTube channel talk about monochrome color dressing. I don't know if y'all understand what I'm saying, but basically, if you got two choices. Wear an all green outfit. Everything's green, head to toe, right? It stands out. It makes you look whatever, regal, however you want to say. Or you do light brown, you do a white shirt, dark color, then another color. And it sounds silly. When you watch the videos, you're kind of laughing, but you're like, that is spot on. If you actually pay attention to how wealthier people dress, right? Not just people stunting for the gram or anything like that, but just on average, they dress either in monochrome, like one color. It's a one color outfit. Shoes are the same color, everything. It's like a one color, very simple outfit, or they have the very unique pattern on repeat, right? You wouldn't know that if you didn't go to different environments. You wouldn't know that if you didn't go to different cities. You wouldn't know that if you didn't go to different events. You're watching on YouTube and now you're like, oh, that's true, right? There's so many channels on how to be elegant. I think her name is Anna Bay. She put out a thing the other day. Can you be elegant without money? And all these people, yes, you can be elegant without money. Yes. I said, well, then tell me why every time I go to Walmart or Target, which I don't like going to Walmart, but I do. I go to Walmart or Target, y'all out here with bonnets on and pajama clothes, and you're looking crazy. You're looking frumpy. You're looking terrible. Right? I don't always dress the best. I'm not going to front to you, girl. I'm in my relax, about to go get my massage clothes as we speak. But in general, this ideal that I can be elegant, I can be a world-class winner, I can have a ranch with 200 acres and be poor as dirt. It's a fantasy. And it's a dangerous one, to be honest, because we're one of the easiest countries to come here and kick it. Kick it like Bruce Lee and win, right? There's a video Dr. Umar did. And I know people are not going to hear this because people are like, oh, no, Ericka, not Dr. Umar. And he was like, Black celebrities only focus on having fun. They're not talking about charities. They're not talking about building apartment buildings. They're not talking about anything progressive. They're just talking about having fun and on boats and popping bottles. And like, look how much I pop bottles. And he's like, I almost believe they're forced not to help. Because simple math, and I'm telling you this from the perspective of they've studied Korean, Japanese, and what's the other Asian group in California? That's real wealthy at this point. They studied them basically from the 80s. And what they did is they did a pipeline where they just kept sending every single Asian kid to UCLA and a few other places. And they focused on certain high schools where they would give a financial scholarship. Hey, you guys, we're going to send 100 kids to school for this at the community college, and we're going to pay for it. Right? So all of a sudden you look up over 10 years, UCLA is 90% Asian, right? You look up at the community college in certain areas, 90% Asian. You look up the tech careers, the medical career, health careers, the roles in the hospital, all Asian. But it came from people deciding to what? Invest in certain areas. Again, Tangelo Park is another example. Tangelo Park, a millionaire came to Tangelo Park, which had the worst child abuse issues, single parent mom issues, bad healthcare issues, homelessness, mental illness, all this stuff. You know what he did? He created a couple daycare centers, a couple after school programs, made sure everybody in that little neighborhood was employed in some way, whether they drove the bus, worked at the daycare system, cut grass, something. And within a 5 to 10 year window in Tangelo Park, those problems all disappeared. They all went poof. Like literally, he makes a joke. I will always invest in Tangelo Park in this program as long as there's some poor family. Because now they're starting to build stuff around Tangelo Park. Why? Because the neighborhood completely changed. People were well taken care of. They were well fed. They had better health care. The kids were at daycare programs or after school programs. The kids' grades improved. The valedictorianship of kids went up. The kids who went to college went up like 100%. We know what works. Money works. Having a plan. Even just 10 celebrities saying we're all going to donate to this particular community college so we can pay for 100 plumbers a year to come out of this area. In 10 years, they would have 1,000 plumbers. It would change that area. So when Dr. Umar and different people say this stuff, I can see where they have this argument, because we all know simple pushes change whole environments. Okay. Now you can say, Ericka, why are you bringing that up? To raise the financial IQ of people, to think just a little bit further than I just want lunch today and I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. Just a little bit further, raise your IQ. It's going to be reading. It's going to be investing. It's going to be who you're sitting around talking to. Okay. Right now I'm in an auto trader group. It basically, you follow the trades of politicians and they explain what's going on. And I was able to just jump in there and do that. Not because I'm like, oh, I need to research for 10 days. I need to read. We only got $25. I can put my $25 over there. No, I was able to go ahead. I'm gonna take 1,000, put it over there. Okay, take 1,000. That gives me 90 shares. Okay, this gives me 100 shares. Okay, this bank is shares are only like 968. I should totally do it. Their dividends like 6.7%. When you have the overflow of money, you don't have to do this like 99 moves of calculations to move $25. And that is the purpose of raising your financial IQ, and the purpose of having the ability to walk away and the ability to read an article saying lumber dropped and know that it's not the end of the world. All right. So let me read some more of your comments and I'm gonna try to wrap this up here. It's called F and you. That's right. F you money. If you want to change the way you look at things, then the things you look at change. Right. So my biggest thing to people is, I have this conversation often. I'm like, when you go to a new city, what's the golf course you're going to be at? What's the gym you're going to work at? What's the church you're going to go to? What are some of the after school programs? What are some things you can get involved in? Have you been on meetup.com? And so many people say, oh, I never do any of those things. Oh, I just moved to the city and it sucks. Well, it sucks because you suck. It sucks because you're not involved. It sucks because wherever you are is wherever your results will be. Right? So just a little bit of that. I'm gonna leave that alone. Get the skills and make the money and invest. Yeah, it's always an overflow. There you go. Thank you so much, y'all. Thank you. I'm Felicia Rasaj from Houston, Third Ward Houston University. Her daddy was a dentist. Her mama was a teacher. Yeah, and she was saying how she could see, a prostitute, a dancer, or this, or that. Like she saw a range of type of people, and we don't have that. Truth raised a son in Detroit, exposed him to different areas and people. He's surgical tech and back in school. Congratulations. It is really the name of the game. I'm talking about plain as hell. I'm talking about, we make joke on the dad sneakers, the rad dad sneakers. You will go somewhere and they got on penny loafer Sperry's, cheap one, and no socks. You're like, oh, dog. Plain khakis, plain shirt, plain. But there's been a few I've sat there like, man, the quality of this shirt is amazing. Like, oh, I'm feeling the little edge of their shirt. Like, oh, that's a really nice shirt. Where'd you get it? Oh, it's custom. It's tailored, right? They aren't just dressing like bums, but they usually have pieces or items that are tailored, right? There's a couple jackets I want. Even though it's about to be summer in Texas, I told them I put my deposit in now because it takes longer, of course, for them to make the jackets in the winter. So it's better to do it now. And so these super cool blazers are amazing. They're custom size or fit. They're like $300. And this girl was like, oh, I wouldn't spend $300 for a blazer, Ericka. That's crazy. I'm like, it's custom. It's silk inside. It's amazing. It's like quality. This jacket will last me for years. And we have a society of people that want to do shortcuts, quick angles, quick flisses, fix my credit in 30 days, even though I done effed it up for 10 years. Get me here, get where I gotta go. I'm scared to even call my affiliates and see how the credit stuff's going because I know we sent out maybe 1,000 text message response for them to book time. And I know their calendar is probably slammed. But for those of you who still do need credit repair help or trade line help, it's 512-348-2192. You can text ready or you can text trade lines and they will reach out to you. We'll text you and reach out to you. But I'm telling you, it's a freedom of choice. It's freedom of choice, y'all. A lot of people, what's stopping you? Like $4,000, $2,000 in debt, $20K in debt. I'm like, that ain't no debt. You could work a part-time job for a year and pay that debt off. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's think outside the box. All right. I went to a house concert in North Austin. Only people of color there in the nice home, all neutral colors, basic haircuts, no fancy shoes. I'm telling you. They're at the tech place, and I have a whole journey of stuff I have recorded, and we're gonna release it. You guys are gonna see what I'm talking about. The way people dress for these tech jobs, they be literally polo, golf clothes, Tilcrest hat. They getting ready to go golf after work. They gone. They out of there. Very, very plain. And that one color is not purple. I'm looking at you. See, man, I love purple. Purple is so dangerous for Black people. We love it too much. But I'm talking about greens. I'm talking about blues. I'm talking about grays, different colors of gray. I mean, very like a monochrome one color. It's really crazy. Very modest. Yeah. Somebody I know has a watch, and it's like an amazing watch, right? but nothing you wouldn't stand out flashy. When he told me the price of that watch, I said, what? Who ripped you off? He's like, no, this is the price of the water. This is the price of the watch. I'm like, dang. Okay. Listen, if you got sleepwear in public, I feel like you just came out of surgery, just woke up out of bed. There was a video incident where all these parents were at the school bus getting their children, and they're all in pajamas. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Put some fucking clothes on. Like, how do you expect these kids? People really think they're gonna tell their kids to read, and they're not reading. Or I love when I hear people say, like, I don't know why he's so fat, and the mom and dad is fat as hell. You're like, right there in front of you. Like, who are you talking about? You're not a family that walks and exercises. Cut it out. They don't have that in Colorado, and Broomfield Walmart is peaceful. Oh man, Obama had a uniform to avoid wasting brain powder. Yes. And if you guys notice, I've taught you a lot. I literally I have like a wall. We had to break it up. Like, we had to stop myself. I had a wall of black dresses and a wall of black shirts. And if you watch this channel long enough, you know what I'm saying is true. Like, I had a wall of them, black shirts and black dresses. And I started adding color pieces to it. And even now, as I'm like, oh no, I don't want that. It's too loud. But it's like super pull the shirt off, get up and go. Pull the shirt off, get up and go. I literally will struggle and throw a bunch of clothes away. It's brain power. Hitting Walmart with a wife beater and baseball shorts being elegant. I know, they love trying to convince you I'm elegant without money. Cool, okay. There is a black program that does that in San Fran. Awesome. Check out Omega Boys Club. Okay, you guys, Omega Boys Club. Someone email that to me. Send it to admin@classyclimberstx.com. I went to college with Asians. They study, stick together for success, even coming with cat. Listen, if you go watch Brian Chung channel, and when he was showing how hard he was working, his parents mom worked at the post office. They were like struggling Asians. You know what I'm saying? They were just struggling. It just wasn't what it was. And he figured it out. Like, he hit that, look at these credit cards and YouTube, and hit the lottery. All of a sudden now he's got all these new Asian friends who they all own businesses. They all getting credit. They all buying a warehouse space. They're all making e-com businesses. And I keep telling y'all, like, when I go in these masterminds, one or two of the young people will connect together and be like, boom, go crazy. Like, it's amazing what they can do in 2 to 3 years, right? Anybody can be a hot shot for 1 to 3 years, but it's the keeping it up after that. It's the keeping it up after that. And the energy level, people try to convince you, I'm 55 and my energy's through the roof. Baby, there's a 25-year-old that's going to run out the street and dust you with the level of energy they have. So making these decisions to pivot and raise your financial IQ and figure out what you're doing with your money earlier is always better than later. But there's stats where longevity of life and great healthcare come from what these zip codes. Yeah. You know what I mean? I unfortunately see a lot of, Mother's Day and Father's Day. I hate going on Facebook because some people are like, oh, my mom died from a heart attack, or she died from diabetes, or she died from a stroke. And you're like, what? She was only 50. She was only 47. Like, what's going on? And it's literally, it's just truly the cost of living. You know what I'm saying? Increasing emotional and financial IQ equals prime for partnership. This is important, but let's really address, Kayla, the elephant in the room. If you're a woman and you need mental health treatment, you need therapy, you need a personal trainer, you need maybe a dietitian, you need new clothes, you need your new wardrobe, new hairstyle, facials, and a massage. These things all cost money, right? These things all cost money. Right? I'm not saying this in a disrespectful way, but go watch men channels when men are like, man, it's so much better to date when you got money. You don't even care, man. You're so free-hearted. You're different. Those are two different mindsets. These men are like, I can't wait to get money so I can trick and date the women I want and be free-hearted. And women are like, I just want to be emotionally ready. Like, I get it, but both are going to need money. I know people hate hearing that. They hate hearing it. Get your emotional intelligence up. Some of these people are going to need therapy. It may cost them $200 a month, right? A couple different sessions on Talkspace.com with their therapist. Some of these people need I know a woman, she is beautiful, but she dresses like a boy. Men have told her she dressed like a boy, and she still dressed like a boy. Men that like you told you dress like a boy, and you still gonna dress like a boy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, It's one of those things where you're like, put on a dress, girl. Change them shoes, lady. So these things cost money. So this fantasy world we live in, that we can be elegant and beautiful and dainty with no money in our pockets. It's wonderful. Like, come on now. Aaron Clarey had this thing where he said only 4% of men can really afford to have their wife stay at home. That's ridiculous. In America, land of the free, home of the brave, home of unlimited opportunities. My biggest reason for pushing this channel and pushing y'all so hard to get credit so that you can either have a business or own some pieces of real estate is because they basically let the floodgates in for people who want to work, right? Let's just go there. We got a generation of people who you almost have to push them into like an arm twisting moment. Like, you're going to take this job or you're going to be homeless. Okay, I'll take the job. Before that, they'll just chill at home and watch Netflix till they die. 600-pound life till whenever, right? If people had 2 squeezes of energy that they have for internet and social media, boy, America be unstoppable. There you go. You got to. This is what people don't want to hear this. People like, I'm just going to move to a new city and I'll just start over. With what? With who? With what groups? Well, I'm busy working and building and I'm deep in a hub. That works for about 6 months. If for 6 months you want to dig deep and work your new job and get your bearings, and then the next 6 months you spend digging deep in that city, great. But you have to have a plan for that. You have to immediately connect when you move to new cities. Yes. Meet up, local, bright, and bright, all that stuff. Keep it simple on the truck. Keep it simple. Home Depot stock is down, buying 50,000 worth of it today. Congrats, man. I'm telling you, I literally just stocked up on 4 different bank stocks that Michael Burry and several politicians bought. And I was like, okay, what's going on? And then I stocked up on a couple other shares that I was like, I'm not so sure about that, but I'm going to do it. Why? Michael Burry is Michael Burry. Politicians is going to politician. What are your politicians doing right now? They looking for the latest lick, make a bunch of money, the play, as we jokingly say, right? But majority of people, you ain't doing that. People believing you can get a $375K job as a prompt engineer in 1 month. Listen, I have a whole series I'm recording for y'all, and y'all gonna love it. But your girl did get a tech job. We're gonna show you what happened and how hard it wasn't, and like why I'm laughing about it. I recorded a ton in the studio. Even one of our students might have an opportunity this year to make like $500,000 teaching the youth. I can't disclose any of that stuff yet, but there's so many grants and government entities. Man, I wish I could tell y'all like I want to say. There's so much good. The government has earmarked $1 billion for various projects, various things. And when you see all these people talking about grants and government contracts, it's real, but a lot of y'all are not even in position to get them or to have a company qualify for them because you won't face where you at right now and just get the credit tight and change a few things or two. You won't do it. So you're going to be stuck. It's going to suck, man. Why do all the black conferences you have to dress up and other conferences tech, they don't have on suits? It's people, wanting to, I will say this. If you go to Grant Cardone's conferences, oh, baby, they in there like a fashion show. It's crazy. But that's salespeople. I wear the same 3 polos with my company's logo and khakis. Congratulations, Thomas.
Live from Air News in Washington.
What is that? Hold on. Oh, Lord. What is that making that noise? Sorry, y'all. An entrepreneur uniform is a must. We wear the same dress with different colors. Yeah, we really do. All right, make sure I make sure the vast majority of my income is going into investments. I live way below my means because I know most of what I see is fake wealth. Yes, Drew, listen. People have been clowning me for years for having 2 paid off cars. For years. Like, Ericka, why you ain't got no Porsche, man? Why you ain't got? Yeah, I'm getting it, but I'm paying cash, baby. Oh, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't deploy all my cash like that. I would get a loan and do all. Listen. All this stunting and the G-Wagons and all that silly mess, that gets you locked into doing projects and business with people you don't like. The more control, whenever I see people talking about, oh my God, my husband lost a job, we might have to move. If you don't have the ability to get another job in your city where you're at without uprooting your whole life because you just have so much skill, that's a problem. That's a problem, right? What is real wealth? If you pay attention, I really want y'all to understand what I'm saying. If you look at most of the YouTubers and this van life stuff and all this stuff, when they get money, just touch enough money, they go get an apartment or they go get a land somewhere in the woods that they can afford. And I'm going to build a tiny home. And here's my van on my land. And what is real wealth then? Real wealth is land. Real wealth is a home. Real wealth is assets. Real wealth is you have a business that makes money. You have employees, not just a business that you run by yourself because you'll run down, because that means it's a job you can never leave. Right now, I'm in such a great position that I'm able to, thank the Lord, all my staff knows what they're, hey, y'all, for the next 3 months, I'm going to be busy recording this, doing this, building this construction project, and I'm going to be filming both of it. So y'all need to go edit videos, respond to comments, hyper all this other stuff up, get the email list right, do all this other stuff. I'm going to be busy. But that's the difference in having a business and a job. Can you walk away from it? Can you go do something else? Can you batch record 100 videos and your team is just making sure they get uploaded and everything else is okay? That's a, you know what I mean? That's for people in media. All right, Tam, $99 Tam. Thank you. Both parties need money. Why don't want to be financially curious behind me? Listen, people are like, I want to be out of my masculine energy. This is something that is internal, right? When people talk about masculine energy and feminine energy, they've been so out of whack, they don't know what it really looks like. Does that make sense? Like when you really see people, parents who've been married a long time, or you see actual adults, like you actually know what it looks like. And it's not makeup and dressing a certain way and, oh, honey, whatever you say, like that's not feminine. It's just as a fucking mask. It's just a mask, right? Like there's a lot of women online right now, like, oh, girl, I'm gonna dress like this and do all this and trick this person and do this. That's masculine energy. Scamming, trying to scam a man, that's masculine energy. Trying to hook them, trying to trick them, that's masculine energy. But people don't want to hear that part, right? Because the truth is, if you're out here in the world and you're what most women did back in the day, volunteering, working with different organizations in your city, people recommended you to other people. You didn't have to go hunt and search and get your masculine energy to go find a man. Like you didn't do all that shit. I didn't even do that. I literally showed up at an event and a man found me. Like, I don't know why y'all keep making this hard. I don't know why y'all keep making it hard. Man, I heard 3 days ago. You need to get on the daggone app I'm on. You need to get on there. If you don't know who Michael Burry is, go take your time. Go study who Michael Burry is. That's your assignment today, Jordan. Join Jordan. Go on YouTube and type in who is Michael Burry and why is he so important. Coach K talks about government contracts all the time. I'm helping people with grants. You must have paperwork. Yes. You don't want to hear that part. The government is looking for people to help build tech hubs. 500 million is marked. Yeah. I tried to reach out to you about business trade lines. Coach Dave, you should hit 512-348-2192. Just text ready or text trade lines and get yourself on the calendar, and the affiliate I work with will reach out to you. I have paid off car, cannot wait until the house is paid off. I mean, I'm telling you, can we have more interviews with government contractors like Fox Wade? You can do that on your channel. You can book that on your channel today. You should call them and see if they will do an interview with you. We've already got our scheduled 15 interviews for the month. Well, 15 videos and maybe like 2 interviews for the month. Like feel free to book this, right? Like that's what I want. I want this channel not to be y'all just watching me talk about my journey, but you guys actually creating your own journey. Book it. The big scam, masculine. You already know. You already know. Many corporate women in 300K are more feminist than fakers online. Yeah. I work with many women who've been married. I'm talking about married. Oh, it's people that track their stocks and track what the politicians. I did a whole video. Go check the video out the day before where I talked about politicians tracking investment. So anyway, all right. So that's all. That's what I got for y'all. I got to go to my massage. But at the end of the day, you got to raise your financial IQ, because common sense would say, why don't a few people focus on getting more plumbers, more architects, more people in the city? Atlanta's tried that. Atlanta has free HVAC training. There are multiple cities that have free community college for people. People are literally going to wait till they have no choice and they're stuck at the door of homelessness or do this and do this job right now. And unfortunately, that's where a lot of Americans are. And you can raise your financial IQ in this time and realize when you see lumber 80% off, you got to know that most folks are like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. No, builders, investors, home producers are excited, right? This is the things people really don't want to address. They don't have their financial IQ raised enough to even understand the conversations they're being a part of. So they're sitting here mad at, like, I just watched conservative radio a couple hours ago and I just was like, what are y'all talking about? We got immigrants at the border. We got the debt ceiling happening. Pay attention. Pay attention. Like, that's a real argument. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the crazy part. People really don't want to hear that part. AWS training has been free for years. Yeah, Tam, it's free. We have training that's free, and people are refusing to raise their skill level or their financial IQ. And so every time I watch 48 Hours or some kids online robbing, stealing, I'm like, their families failed them. I say the school failed them, but it's really their home. This is their home. It's their home life. If your kid is leaving your house, Ericka, you can't blame parents. Sometimes kids turn out bad. Like, how many options were they presented and they still turned out bad? Listen, when they talk about John Morant's dad, everybody's like, what about his mom? His mom's responsible too. I'm like, when your son's 13 to 25, that's your dad. Yeah, the mom can say things to you, but it's your dad. So, the blame game, all that stuff, let that go. Let's get a little bit more money in our community. Let's actually make sure some folks are investing in the community. What that means, investing in community means make sure other people are being raised up, being able to move forward. And then also, just raise your financial IQ, man. I'm reading this lesson. I have 2 paid off cars and a 2.1, 15-year mortgage. There you go. Congrats, Drew. You're wealthier than a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, you guys. If you are one of the people that wanted to build housing and you just heard 80% off lumber, you should be excited. But anyways, you guys, this is your girl, Ericka, Classic Blog. I gotta go later.